early intervention is key, because the investment that you make now will make things a lot more cost-effective later.
Because there's all this research that brain development starts very young.
Because once this window closes, you don't get this time back.
I can't imagine not investing in our kids.
The clock is ticking.
Blue.
Children born with hearing loss have a brief window of opportunity between birth and age 3.
Very good.
Giving them the right intervention can be life-changing. At Lake Drive School, the Sound Start Early Intervention Program is designed to take advantage of that crucial period.
There it is. Ready?
The goal is for inclusion of toddlers that are 18 to 36 months that have a hearing loss included with their peers that are hearing.
This is New Jersey's first full-day class for toddlers with hearing loss.
A lot of other early intervention programs will only provide speech and language therapy 1 or 2 hours a day. Here in our Ivy Nursery, we can provide a full day of auditory stimulation, of language development that is priceless.
Miraculous technology enables these children to hear sounds like never before.
Good job.
And has transformed the way they learn.
For kids who are deaf and hard of hearing, historically the approach was sign language. And over time, as the equipment has gotten better, and we've gotten this great technology with cochlear implants, kids who, 10 years ago might not have been able to hear things are now have this sense of hearing that they never otherwise would have had.
Okay, ready? Good, red.
And so there's been a movement towards focusing on the auditory verbal approach to focus on and maximize that listening and spoken language.
Laura McCurdy, who founded the Lake Drive program 3 decades ago, has witnessed a full-scale revolution.
With the new technology and the appropriate intervention early, in the first 3 years of life, it's very likely that you'll develop listening and speaking skills that are going to be comparable to your hearing peers.
But technology is only part of the equation. These toddlers have to learn how to decipher sounds and how to create sounds.
Good.
And their parents, most of whom have no family history of hearing loss, have to learn as well.
This environment is nurturing. It's different from others that I've seen because it really does bring the parent in.
You feel comfortable, you feel safe, you feel so, you know what, you're being educated, you're being led down the right road.
I feel grateful that we found the school. I feel grateful for Riley that we found it, because now I know that she has the opportunity to succeed.
The Ivy Nursery also includes children without hearing loss.
We all sit down. Good.
7, 8, 9.
Hillary Tamayo enrolled her daughter for the rigorous education.
How many here?
Emily's learned so much this year. All the songs they learn, all the books they read, all the activities they do. I actually think that they're stimulated more here in this environment than a lot of other places. This is probably one of the best educational experiences she'll have.
The children who are hard of hearing get typical language models and socialization opportunities that a program that is solely for children with a hearing loss wouldn't get. And then the children who are hearing, they really get to learn what acceptance is.
Good.
I mean, if the world could see a snapshot of the classroom, it really is acceptance at its best.
Sound Start begins working with babies as early as possible. Every week, Kate Hoy, who has hearing loss herself, drives to the home of the Salazar family, whose infant daughter has hearing loss.
It's an hour session, so really it's just us talking and seeing what goals we have, what is Layla reaching, any questions that they have, and I also pull in my own experiences all the time, so it's really a lot of that. A lot of parent education too.
As is typical, the Salazars had no family history of hearing loss, so they are learning from scratch.
I know she's little now, and she might not understand now, but with Kate here, you know, she tells us everything's gonna be okay, and this is how it's gonna go, and look at me, and you know, everything's gonna be okay.
If Kate wasn't here, we wouldn't know what to expect in the future.
Good.
Back at Lake Drive, on this day, there is a very special visitor. Eric Hones received early intervention at this school nearly 20 years ago. He went on to Mountain Lakes High School and recently graduated from the Rochester Institute of Technology.
When everybody asked me, how did you learn how to talk? It was through early intervention. I mean, that's the best way to learn, because you want to teach a child all modes of communication as possible at a young age, because that's where they develop their communication skills.
That requires an entire team of skilled specialists like those at Lake Drive. The team strives to maximize early brain development.
Let me hear you. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
So these babies can grow into educated and productive citizens.
It's not just you get a cochlear implant and there you go, you're fine, you're cured. It takes a lot of work.
And the big scary spider went up the spout again.
So that they can hear and talk just like any other kid their age.
It's gratifying when it happens right, and incredibly frustrating that it still doesn't happen right, except for babies who are fortunate enough to find their way to this place.
The funding from the Department of Health and Senior Services only covers a third of our program, and we depend on grants, on events, and on private donors to make sure that these children all get the sound start they deserve.
You either pay now or you're going to pay a lot more later when the child is ill prepared and goes into society without being able to communicate, without being able to read, without being able to make their needs known.
I expect that Riley is going to be just like her brothers who are hearing. She's going to listen, she's going to talk, she's going to misbehave, she's going to behave, she's going to be just like everybody else. But she's going to just have a little extra something that she wears on the outside of her ear. That's all.